Alright, so hey, what is up everybody? Well, got one egg out of my barred rocks. Stick it in my pocket. It's kind of funny, sometimes I'll forget that I got an egg in my pocket and I'll just be going about my day and I'm like, oh yeah, I have an egg in my pocket. Something I never really thought I'd say. But anyway, today, yes, today is a big day. It's going to be a busy day. We're going to cull all but 2 of the male breast chickens and the 4 roosters that we kind of kept as pets. They're just eating up money and food and don't really have a purpose for them. They're just kind of locked up, locked away for really. So yeah, we're just kind of locking them up, just keeping them around for no real reason. So we figured might as well go ahead and put them to freezer camp as well. They are a little bit older. I'd say they're 8 months now. So, you know, they're not going to be the most tender meat, or I'm actually not sure. I've never had an older chicken. So, we'll see how it is. A lot of people say the older ones you can do in stews, like slow cook it. Nobody's really explained why. Just it's not as good, so you want to do that, but I want to find out exactly what it is, if it's tough or what the deal is with it. So yeah, we're gonna do those 4 plus 13 breast chickens today. So I'm gonna kind of in a basic way walk you through the process a little bit of how we go through the whole process of it. And the first thing is going to be finding some chickens to cull. I'm going to be keeping 2 of them, so I'm going to breed those at least with the 2. If one doesn't perform, I'll be able to have a backup plan for both of the coops. I want to have one for each coop, but if I have to have one to kind of bounce back and forth to breed all the hens, you know, that's the way it'll be. That'll be all right. So anyway, for now I'm going to go ahead and pick the one out of the main coop that I have that I want to be a breeder. And I think I already know which one it is. I just got to find him, and I'm going to go ahead and put him back in the coop, lock it up so he's separated. Then it'll be a little bit easier to be able to pick all those through. So a couple things, you know, before you cull, you want to stop food at least 24 hours just to kind of clean their system out, because it can get messy as it is. When we did the Cornish cross, it wasn't that bad. We stopped 24 hours. One of my coops, I didn't pull the food, but they have a tendency to run out pretty quick, so that's not too big of a deal, and that's only going to be one of the chickens, so that won't be that big of a deal. The other 2 coops I pulled food, so that should be good. Also, another thing, getting ready for it. This isn't going to be it. I kind of like this shirt, but wear some clothes that you don't mind possibly throwing away afterwards, because there's a good chance that you're going to get blood all over the place, and it's kind of hard to get out of your clothes. So wear junk clothes, or you know, if you got some old painting clothes or construction clothes laying around or something like that, that'd be a good time to break them out. I got some pants with some holes in it. I don't really care about them. They're comfortable, but I don't really care about them. And I'm going to throw a hoodie, one of my cheap hoodies, over this, because it's a little bit cool. I mean, it's not actually that bad right now, but it was low 40s. And it's probably mid 40s right now, which is kind of sad. It feels okay, at least in a flannel. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let the chickens out for the last time for some of them, and you know, go ahead about that and start that process. So sorry if it's a little bit windy and you can hear it in the mic, but hey, it's a little bit windy, nothing I can do about that. So all right, well, let's get started. Now I'm just going to go ahead and talk on the side a little bit. I'm looking to see here if any of them are covered in blood, because there's been some battles going on, and that is one reason we wanted to go ahead and take care of this cooling process now. And they all look pretty good. There was one that really got beat up. You can see it was smashed down in the dirt and the poo and stuff like that. You know, you could definitely tell the other roosters were on top of it. It bit the back of its crown, and severely. Bleeding, took some big chunks out of it, really took some chunks out of the back of the neck. Really messed it up. It was slow, lethargic, just probably in a lot of pain is what it is. So I went ahead and put him over in another area just to get him away so they don't kill him by the time we kill them. So I'm gonna go ahead and hunt down the one that I would like to keep, see if I can find him. And he's not the biggest, but he's the one I've been seeing has been doing a little bit of mating, so. Is you? Is that you? Are you the lucky one? Hey. Hey, calm down. So I still have an egg in my pocket. Hey, he's a ticked off looking guy. But, jeez, okay. So anyway, I think that's him. I scared him, he's not too happy about it. Pooed on me a little bit. But yeah, he's got a real long extension on his crown. Yeah, and he's the one I like. So as you can see, it's exactly what I'm talking about. They're really starting to go at each other. So yeah, so I'm gonna let them out. They're really ticked off. They don't have any food. They haven't had food most of yesterday. And yeah, they're probably pretty hungry. So after we go ahead and pull these guys, I'll get them some food and they'll be a lot happier. So off to the next one. So these guys are a lot more mellow. They're ready to come out and get some food too. And I'm still not gonna feed them yet until we pull that one rooster. And I could put them over with the other ones, but each time that I've tried that, it goes pretty bad. All right, come on guys. If you look at the ones on the fence line over there, I'm gonna get off camera. So he's definitely wanting to kind of start some stuff with the other coop. So I know aggressive is kind of okay in some ways because in nature, you know, survival of the fittest, they're the ones that get a mate. They're the ones that spread the good bloodline for survival. So, I mean, is that the one I really want? I am not sure yet. But neither of them are mating. Neither of them are showing any sort of activity or anything like that, so I don't know which one to really keep yet. But I'm just gonna have to roll the dice, pick one, and I'm probably gonna pick the biggest, baddest, most beautiful chicken that I have. So they're both pretty nice. I picked them both out as the two best, the number 1 and number 2 spot, and put them over here when I first separated them. So yeah, I don't know. I know if you get too aggressive or too big, the hens just want nothing to do with the rooster, and then you got a problem with breeding on that part of it. So at least I'm gonna have 2 ready to go. We will see. All right, I am going to walk you guys through a bit of the process. I'm not gonna record the killing on here. It's a pretty simple process. There's a lot of videos on it. I'm trying to watch the hits or algorithms or anything like that I can on this channel, so I don't want to really push the limits. You know, I'm trying to get it going. So just to kind of tell you, I mean, it's pretty easy. You can get by a cone. We're doing them by hand. My girlfriend will hold it and I'll go ahead and take it. But you can get a cone to where the head sticks out. You just get a super sharp knife, make sure it is. Go ahead and cut him across the neck, bleed him out, toss him aside, and that's it. You know, I mean, that's the go-to way. I'm not sure why people just don't take a hatchet anymore and just take the head off. Probably affects the meat and humanity and all that kind of stuff, and you got to do it the best way that you can to make sure everybody on the internet is happy with you. So don't necessarily agree with that, but it seems to work, so I'm just kind of going about it that way. Whether I continue that in the future, I don't know. I mean, a shotgun works too, you know, I'm just saying. Yeah, these two guys. Yeah, the aggressive one is the smaller of the two. But anyway, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get that part of it done, and I'll get back with you guys once I'm in the garage and we're at the processing table, and take it from there. Real quick, I'm just gonna go ahead and go through our setup here. There you go, got my tripod in the way, but so we got this. This is the old Star Pluck chicken plucker. We rented this from a local hatchery at Cackle Hatchery in Lebanon, Missouri, and works pretty good. You got to put a healthy deposit down to be able to pay for it if you never show back up with it, but the price isn't all that bad. Very much worth renting instead of plucking by hand. Haven't really plucked by hand, but maybe a couple of them last time with our Cornish cross. But yeah, if I had to do 25 birds without this thing, it's going to take a long time. So make sure you got a good extension cord to be able to plug this in wherever you're going to be working. And yeah, highly recommended, highly recommended. Even to buy one if you're going to be doing a lot of chickens. They're, I think, $400 or something like that. Don't quote me on the price, but they are a little bit expensive, maybe $500. But yeah, if you're going to be doing a lot of chickens, you know, it could very well be worth it. So also, this comes out a chute. That's where most of the feathers come out, so I have a place for them all to land, so it's a little bit easier to clean up. Last time we did the Cornish cross, I basically put it down onto the driveway here. All the chicken juice got kind of mixed in with all the dirt and gravel and all that kind of stuff. It stunk for a very long time. Rotten chicken is not something that you want lingering around as an odor to enjoy on a daily basis. All right, and so the next thing, just have a table. This is going to be, you know, basically just all the cleaning. I'm going to get my trash can. Let me go ahead and grab that actually. Yeah, so there we go. So I'm going to have a trash can with a new bag in there. I'm going to go ahead and take that out to the trash. Also, regarding that, with all the guts that are going to be going in here, you got to have a place to put them. You can't necessarily take it down to your local Walmart and drop it off in the disposal bin. So I dug a very large hole out in my backyard. I'm going to bury it about 3 feet down. It could probably go a lot deeper, but I lost my motivation at about 3 feet, so that is what it is. We'll see if anything digs it up or how that goes. So yeah, so I got the trash can, got the table for processing. I'm going to have some knives, gloves, stuff like that here in a little bit, but don't have that right now. I actually need to clean it. Got a good size dead bug right there. So I'm also going to pull the hose around from outside, just so we have water in here. It's good to put water in with the plucker as well. So that's it. So the next thing, a turkey fryer. This is the 44 quart, I believe. And that'll be for boiling them. And of course with propane, bags, gloves, and zip ties. So that's what we're working with. I did not put my hoodie on. I couldn't find it. I think it was in my truck and I just got lazy on it. But I stayed pretty clean this time. The whole process was a little bit cleaner, but as you can see, you know, you do get some blood on you and stuff like that. I think the whole process went a little easier this time. I think we were more prepared for it. Mostly mentally. Yeah, it was just a little bit easier, but it's still always a hard thing to take a life, even if it's a chicken. And you get attached to the little boogers over time too, so. And we just got a couple ducks, and I couldn't even imagine taking the duck that we have right now. It just became a pet, so. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get washed up real quick. I'll show you what we got, and we'll get into the next step. So these are the 4 roosters that we had. Now we're just kind of taking up space and eating our food. And then we have our breasts. These are all of our breasts. So we ended up having 12. I think one of the one that I thought was a rooster was actually a hen. We're gonna wait and see, because I think like once they get like a big hen or a small rooster, it's a little bit hard to tell. But we have one that's a little bit questionable, which would make up for all the 15 that we have. So that part's done. before I get started on the boiling part of it and taking care of that blanching process to get the feathers off, we're going to go ahead and touch on something here real quick. We got these 2 tubs. Don't know how many gallons are, but there's about 6 gallons, 7 gallons or something of water in each of these, and that's what I'm going to let them set in. Last time I did overnight's better, but I've got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get it done tonight. But what I do, instead of just ice water, which we have a lot of ice I'm going to put in here at the very last minute, is make this a brine. So the way you make it a brine is 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of salt per gallon of water. And a lot of the chickens that you see like in the grocery store and stuff like that, you'll see water added, you know, and different things like that. And a lot of people really talk smack about it like you're getting ripped off or this or that. But honestly, it really helps out on the flavor. And if you're not brining your birds, brine your birds. Even if you don't do it at this point in the processing, before you cook it, go ahead and put it in a bag. Do a 1/4 gallon of water and, you know, 1/4 cup, and so on and so on. You can add a lot of flavoring to it, spice, thyme, poultry seasoning, anything you want. This one I'm just going to do sugar and salt. So I'm just using some kosher salt. I like kosher salt. It's about the same flavor as sea salt, very similar, but about half the price. So I'm gonna have to do 12 of these. I'm just gonna rip the box open. And I'm probably gonna have to get another box, to be honest. Actually, I did. I forget where I put it. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 4. Got a few to go.
So that hen that was in the with the lawnmower was over there raising hell. Scout.
All right, and then for sugar, I'm just going to use 1 bag, split it between the 2. Not going to measure it. It's going to be a little bit short, but that's okay. I don't need that much sugar anyway. So, do this. And there you go, you got a brine. I think the temperature is about up to par. Take a quick look. Sitting at 173. I think the last time that we did it, it was 180. But we just looked it up online and they're saying 130 something to 170 is an ideal range. So I'm going to go ahead and kill it for now. Just for now, I've got one of my breasts. So all I'm going to do is give it a dunk. I hold it by the feet because the feet don't have to get dunked. And that allows you to keep your hands out of the water, which is nice, but there's also, you can get some silicone gloves to help out the situation. So dunk it about that long, then try to pull out some feathers. So the feathers are coming out really easy. I try a tail feather. That one's not really coming out. So what I'm going to do, since you're holding the feet, the tail feathers get the least exposure to the water. So I'm going to dunk it there. Tail feathers still aren't coming out. All the other feathers are. So I'm just going to dunk the butt. The tail feathers are the hardest to get out. If any of them are going to be lingering around, it's going to be tail feathers. Being stubborn too. Wings are coming out fine. That should be enough. You don't want to overdo it, because if you overdo it, the skin will tear whenever you throw it into the tumbler, the plucker. So there we go, off to the plucker. All right, so really all you do, drop it in there. Down on the bottom is going to be the switch, green and red, pretty easy. And then you just turn it on. You want to run a little bit of water with it, just to help the feathering process, and also get all the feathers out of the bottom. So.
You should have scalded it longer.
Yeah. I'm going to dunk it again. All right, so the feathers didn't really come off, so I'm going to give it another dunk. Come back. Okay, so I dunked it a little bit longer. We'll see how this works.
Turn the temperature back up, or put it back on so the temperature comes up.
Yeah,
you totally ruined that bird though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make a point of that. Okay, so this bird almost got ruined. I don't know if it was redunking or the temperature was off too light. You know, these are coming out, but it's pulling the skin as well. But I don't know if you'll be able to see. That's the breast that split. Here's the keel bone, and this is kind of separating right here. So yeah, this one isn't looking too good. So probably for everybody it'll be a little bit of trial and error, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one off by hand, I think. And I'm gonna raise the temperature up to about 180 or so and give it a shot there. Okay, so I plucked it by hand. Actually, like these little hairs on them, which is kind of different, but you can see it's pretty much destroyed. I didn't do much with the head and the neck because that's coming off, but yeah, lots of damage to it. So let's go ahead and try the other method and see if that works.
Better than the other one though.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so got a little bit on the camera lens there. So we were making a mistake. So we had too hot of a temperature on the water. So what it was doing is it was scorching the skin, starting to cook the meat even. I was thinking it was 180, but my girlfriend corrected me, and we confirmed that it's about 140 to 150 is the temperature that you want. Makes all the difference in the world. Now this one's not perfect, but I can pick a couple off and that's going to be fine. But about 140 to 150 is the ideal temperature for it. That's going to make all the difference in the world. So we're getting a little discouraged there, I'm not going to lie. Okay, well, got everything finished up. Got them all dunked, got them all plucked. And yeah, after we got that done, it was just sit down, take a break for a little bit, because that took a little while. Mostly trying to figure out what was going on with the dunking and not being able to get the feathers off. It wasn't working properly. It was too hot. You know, we were at 175, that didn't work. I went to 190, that didn't work. I went to 200, that didn't work. Well, come to find out, 135 or 145 to 150 is the perfect temperature. We were scalding the skin. It was tearing. We were actually starting to cook the meat a little bit at the higher temperature, so you definitely don't want to do that. Another thing that we noticed is when you're dunking them, hold the feet and dunk them breast side up. And this is going to do a couple things. First thing it's going to do is it's going to let the first thing it's going to do is it's going to let the wings kind of open up and a lot of the water get inside the wing. That's going to take care of the feathers that are kind of hard to get. And also you can kind of spread the legs out a little bit as you do it as well, just to make sure the water gets everywhere. Another thing too is whenever you're dunking, whatever is on top is not going to quite get as much heat as the bottom. So it's going to be just a tiny bit cooler. Well, all the feathers on the breast in the bottom side come off very easy. It's a smaller, almost like a down type feather, so they come off real easy. And also, whenever you put it into the plucker, the breasts stick out the most. I have to laugh saying that. So it's going to take a beating more than any other part of the bird because it protrudes more off of the body. So if that is the hottest, you have a higher chance of kind of scorching the skin and stuff like that, therefore getting tears and messing up the meat and stuff like that. Everybody wants a good breast with some good skin on it, sear it, and all that kind of good stuff. So just to protect the breast, keep them on the top and dunk it that way. And that seemed to work pretty good. So another thing is if you do use this plucker, keep in mind a couple things, kind of one thing I should say, is whenever it's spinning around and plucking your bird, feathers go flying. So if you can, this one shook around a bit, you know, they're not perfectly balanced machines, so it's going to be kind of hard to cover it up, but if you can cover it up with something, it's going to help a lot. Because when we did the first round with our Cornish cross a while ago, we had feathers everywhere. We had little chunks of meat everywhere because we messed up. You know, we messed up some of the birds on that batch as well. So, and you know, we just had stuff all over the place. And at the end of a long day, we were working on it for 12, 14 hours or something like that. Basically swept everything out of the garage, which is where I did it again. And I didn't really do anything with the entrails and the insides right away. But that stuff will stink. Stink, stink, stink. Even just the little bits and particles, a little piece of skin, the feathers and stuff like that. If you don't pick it all up and you don't clean it all up, it is going to be putrid. So we fought that for almost a month. Yeah, it just kind of got everywhere. And there was almost no hunting down the odor and stuff like that. So if you can cover up the top of the plucker, it's going to cut down on that tremendously. But still, as you're going along and you're testing feathers and pulling feathers out, make sure those go in the trash and they don't get kind of tossed under something, and just make sure you get it all cleaned up. So that'll help you out a lot. Trust me on that one. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started a little bit on cleaning them. I'll show you how I clean one at least. I still haven't figured out perfection on all of this, but I'll show you what I do. Okay, so, let's see here. Got yourself a bird. I'm going to go ahead and cut. Make sure you have a sharp knife. I keep a steel close by. Actually, I could probably run it again. And remember, this does not sharpen a knife. It just hones the edge, but it will take care of some dullness. So I'm going to go around and I cut at the neck. It's about right there. And you're going to get your esophagus and that stuff right here. If you can see it, maybe, maybe not. So I'm going to cut and leave about 1 inch hanging out. And then I'm going to cut around the neck. Very close to the body. So I just cut around it in the skin so you can see it's still attached. And I'm going to go in very close to the body and just go ahead and cut right through it. If I can. Okay, I ended up just kind of twisting on it. Get it out. Keep your bucket close by, neck and head. I don't keep the neck. Now it's going to leave you a little cavity. There's going to be the esophagus right in there. So on the very back of the tail, there's a gland. It's a scent gland. It sits right on top of the tail. It's a good sized bump. You'll be able to see it. Now I cut in about right there on the tail and just go up right along the bone. And take that off. Now you can also probably just take off the whole tail, but showing you the way I learned and the way I was taught. So here, right below the keel bone where the breasts start, you're going to have a nice little spongy pocket. Kind of rub the two pieces of skin together to make sure you don't have any of the entrails in there. Stick it in and make a little bit of a slit. At least where you can get your finger in there. I can go a little bit deeper. A little bit tougher than the Cornish cross. So you want to stick 2 fingers in there and just kind of spread it out. And open it up a bit. Now I'm going to have to get some chicken on my shirt. Roll a sleeve up because you're going to be going in. So you're going to get the guts out. And the way you get the guts out is you basically go around the inside of the cavity with your hand. Break all the membranes loose and just loosen everything up to where you can pull it out. Now up in the by the neck, if you can feel the esophagus, try to get that and pull it out. I'm going to see if I can do it on this one. I'm just kind of breaking around. Working my way up. Now, I'm actually not feeling it, but yeah, I got it. So it's kind of all attached. Yep. And that would be it. Pulled it right through the front. Now if you look in the front here, no more esophagus sticking out. Okay? So you want to get the majority of that out. You don't want to break anything. This guy's pretty fat in the rump. Strange, it almost looks like chicken meat right there, but I know it's not. Okay, so you're gonna get everything out. As you can see here, it's kind of emboweled. A little bit of membrane to break there. And it's gonna be right on the butt. Squeeze it a little bit out. Now I'm gonna try to do this backwards. I don't know if I'm gonna be successful at it. But you wanna run this down around the stinky part on both sides. Then you're going to hit the tailbone. Just go ahead and run the knife along the tailbone, or even just cut the tail off completely. Nobody eats a tail. So there you go, you got it all in one piece. The old butthole all the way to the esophagus and everything in between. So drop that in. Now there's a couple, got the heart in there. Not sure what those are. I don't know if they are, I'm not sure what they are. I forget if I learned it before. But then the next thing is going to be the lungs, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Probably not. It's going to be too dark. But on the top of the chicken, there's going to be two little orange pockets. Those are going to be the lungs, and you got to go in there and just kind of get your fingers and scrape up underneath it and pull them out. I've never really been able to get them all in one shot. Yeah, see, I'm kind of making a mess of it, but there's a little piece of it. There you go. Kind of gross, I know, but that's one of the lungs. It's a little bit different than a Cornish cross. The lungs were a little bit smaller on those, if I remember right. All right, so there you go on that. Then it's nice with the breast to keep the feet on. It's a good acknowledgement of the bird that you're eating. But not many people want it, so I'm going to take them off. What you do is you grab this back heel on it, right there, and you'll feel where the two knuckles move. And there's a little pocket in between them. Let's go ahead and make a slit right there. Then on the immediate other side. There you go. One chicken foot, I don't keep those. It's gonna basically look like a regular chicken leg on the back side of it, so. Another chicken foot. There you go, you got yourself a pretty clean chicken. I just kind of go over it and make sure everything looks good. There's a little funky stuff right in there. There you go, you got yourself a chicken. Clean, ready to cook. But I'm going to drop it back in the brine let it set for a little bit longer, as long as I possibly can before we start the bagging process. And that's going to be a little bit later on tonight. It's going to be under fluorescent lights for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these guys cleaned up, and then I'll get back with you and show you the bagging process. So finally got them all cleaned. Man, that took a long time. I got about halfway through and had to take a break. My back's killing me. Yeah, it's been kind of a pain in the butt. So the only thing we got to do now, I got to go take the trash out, the slop bucket. I have a hole out there dug. I got to go drop it in the hole, bury it the best I can for now. I have the other tub of water and liquid from the chickens and the juices and stuff like that. I'm going to go dump that way out back because that stuff will stink. And I'm going to have to dump this one after we bag them all as well. So, all right, so that's about it for the cleaning, and wasn't a whole lot to show you with that. It's very time consuming. That's about all I can say. So we're going to go ahead and start the bagging process, and I'll show you one of those and we should be done. So I'm gonna go take all this stuff out and take care of that. All right. Okay, so the first process on doing the bagging is you gotta take them all out, let them dry. So I'm gonna take them out of the bin real quick, lay them out on some towels here, and let them sit for a little bit, dry them up before we bag them. So this is the spread that we got. These are all the breast chickens that we have. These 3 are the first 3 that we did that we just completely destroyed. They literally look like zombies. It's pretty bad. The 4 over here are the barred rock roosters that we had that were about 8 months old. We're going to keep them separate so we know what we're eating and we can try them out accordingly. But not too bad. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 breast chickens. So we're going to let these guys dry out for a little bit and maybe get another towel, damp them off or something like that. But yeah, we're ready to get this all finished up. So got our bags ready. We're going to do the bag and straw method. I know some people like it, some people don't. But that's the straw bags with zip ties. So once these guys dry out, we'll go ahead and take it over to the pan and start bagging up. Okay, so they all seem to be pretty dry at this point. You go ahead and get the bag. We got these online, I think.
I got them through Amazon, but you can get them through the actual site too.
Yeah, but they're pretty good. They got a little rounded bottom on them and a those are the bags that we got. Made in the USA, which is always good. Not sure if that got on focus or not. But the way we're going to load them in is going to be head first. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy. Slip it on over the head. Bada bing, bada boom. So there we go. There's one. There's 2, and we're just waiting for the water to come up to a boil. It's going to be 190 to 200 degrees for this one, which we double checked on the actual temperature before we messed them all up. So we melted the bags to the chicken. So we will probably go with about 190 degrees.
95.
195. Me just being kind of anal, I don't want to have it really twisted around the bird. I want it to be kind of even across the bird. be a drop. For this method, go ahead and get this guy. It is butt up.
Zip ties.
Yeah. And you basically stick the straw in to the cavity and then bunch it around. Then we're going to get a zip tie, put it on fairly loosely, and get it ready to where the straw will still slide. And then we'll dip it. There we go. Trying to do a zip tie. Slide it down low. That's what we got. The straw still slides. Ready to go. Okay, so the temp's up to 195 degrees. We're going to go ahead and drop this one in. Are you going to pull the zip tie? Okay. There we go. One chicken down. We're going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and I'll get back with you. So if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. It was hard for us to make it to the end. It's been a long day. It's been many hours throughout the day through the whole process of this. So if you're thinking about doing it, or if you've done it before, you know, but if you're thinking about doing it and you're new to this, dedicate a whole day, if not 2 days, if you have, 25, 30 chickens and just 1 or 2 people to do this. It's going to take a long time. So probably not my best work. I'm not totally happy with it. I could have gotten a little better on the cleanings, but it's going to do. It'll work. I got a little impatient with the cleaning because it was taking so long, and my back was hurting, and it's all part of the game. So yeah, the bagging seemed to go good. I got some pretty good seals on them, good shrink wrap. They're ready for the freezer, ready to go in. They're good. They're brined. Should be good. I'm looking forward to trying one of the breasts. I'm actually going to label them breasts because we still have Cornish cross in there that are unlabeled in the freezer. So I want to know that these are a certain breed compared to the other ones. Got the 4 roosters, the Bardrocks, ready to go. I got them already labeled. So right on. I guess that'll do it. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for making it to the end. That means a lot. Hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate that. Like it, share it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Peace.